Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff then, folks. I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This one is a bit of a friend request. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my PlayStation shirt. Yeah, buddy. Because, yeah, I'm a bit of a gamer. Nowhere near as much as I used to be when I was younger, because, now I'm old and terrible, and I don't have energy to do the things that I like as much. But I'm a big PlayStation fanboy. The original PlayStation, to this day, is my favorite video game system. I still think it has pretty much, for me, and you could argue certain systems, to be sure, but for me, it definitely has my favorite library of games. Yeah, it's a little bit wonky. Yeah, everybody makes fun of the graphics. Don't care. For me, that's home. That's right there. And to be fair, hey, I like Sega, I like Nintendo, Microsoft. I have an Xbox and a 360, but yeah, I'm definitely more of a Sony guy. And yeah, just saw this shirt. It was Target or someplace like that, and I was like, fuck it, man. PlayStation represent. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it a friend request? Because, folks, I'm reviewing some stuff from a local spot, called, and I apologize for any mispronunciations, La Magdalena, Mexican restaurant, which apparently has been in the Addison, Illinois area for over 43 years, and is known as the Little Mag. I don't know anything about that. I've never been here before, but my friend Kyle, who is another local foodie, he went over there. He specifically recommended this place to me on a couple of occasions. I'm finally getting there, and I figured, fuck it, man, let's get in there. I do have to mention, what with this being a local spot, it's going to end up in my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is a playlist for just Illinois spots. But what am I starting with, folks? Well, it's personally a classic for me, and it's one of my favorite dishes. Boom! It's elote, which, if you're unfamiliar, it's kind of a Mexican street corn dish. It consists of, you can see the thing there, it consists of roasted sweet corn, mayo, queso fresco, and tajin, or tajin, I don't know, T-A-G-I-N. Sure, let's get a thing for the thing here real quick before I forget, because I can be a little bit of an idiot sometimes. Sometimes I forget to do my little thing, and we'll go like this. Yep. And we'll go, ha 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 ha. Let's put it back in there. Here's something I do want to note, though. For this cup of elote, $8.78. Now, I know inflation and all that and everything, and I'm not trying to, it does seem like a bit much for a single cup of elote. But ultimately, it's going to be about the flavor, and, that's what needs to carry it. So let's give it a go. And I adore elote. It's insanely good, so I would expect this to be really super tasty. And it is. It's one of those things where it's a fairly simple dish. Not that I could fucking make it because I'm this guy, but fairly simple in terms of the ingredients and the construction. But it's all about, again, just how that flavor comes out. And somehow, some way, man, elote just manages to hit in a way that very few things do for me. I do find a little bit interesting, they didn't include any lime or anything like that, because depending on where you go, the lime is either like a requirement, or it's a separate thing, or in some cases, it's not included at all. But I've certainly, had elote with lime. I've had it without lime. I am probably more partial to it without, but So this works fine for me. The roasted corn does taste really nice. I like the fact you can kind of like see the actual roast marks on it, so it's, got a nice hit from that. Definitely brings out the corn flavor. So it's got that nice kind of, a little bit of sweetness from the corn, a little bit of an earthiness. And then you've got the tanginess from the mayo and the cheese, from the queso, doing its thing. And just a little bit of spice from the tajin. And this is good, man. It's genuinely really solid, solid elote. It definitely hits the way I like it to hit. I think all the flavors are there. Everything about it really tasty. Now, is it the best elote I've ever had? Probably not, but I would put it way closer to the top than I would at the bottom. I have had some bad elote before. It's a pretty rare thing because, again, not too hard of a dish to pull off, but every now and again, this is really nice. I do have to say, or rather, well, I do have to sort of re-emphasize, I like the grilled corn on that, because I've certainly had elote where, the corn was obviously cooked and everything, but you didn't get like the grill marks or anything, so I do like that. I think that gives a little extra razzle dazzle, and it makes it really nice and tasty. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing about this that I dislike. It's really tasty. It's, again, for me, it's, I don't know how classic a Mexican dish it really is, whatnot. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I did look up at one point, I think it kind of quasi-originated in, like, Illinois and Chicago, but I'm not holding to that. That was just a thing I read at one point. But it's definitely become more of a global thing, and I think rightfully so. It's a fantastic little dish, and again, fairly simple, but the flavors are fantastic. Now, all that said, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Third question, is it worth the $8 that I paid for it? Maybe on occasion, sure. I don't know. Here's the thing. And I typically don't try to go over there and include price as too big of a thing when I'm doing these. It's really only when I notice something where it's like, either that seems too good to be true or a little bit off or whatever, then I have to sort of kind of, put it in. This is some good elote. Like I said, it's definitely closer to the best elotes I've had than the worst. I like it. It's doing everything that I like, plus the little added, like I said, the extra roasting on the corn. Really like that. I've had it, spiced a little bit better, again, just more, and that's just personal preference. Nothing bad about that. If it were strictly based off of taste, absolutely I would get it again. But then there's the price. If it were a bigger cup, maybe. Or if the price was a little bit lower. $8 just seems, elote, in my experience, again, just my personal experience, is typically, the type of thing where it's kind of a toss-in, it's not, I'm not saying it's free or anything like that, but a lot of times when I go to, Mexican restaurants and stuff, if they offer it, it's just treated as a kind of nice little appetizer thing. Usually doesn't add too much onto the tab. When you're going over there and charging $8 for a relatively small cup, that's pretty much a full appetizer price. Although, again, inflation and all that stuff. That's where it hurts it for me, and that's why it's like, I'm not gonna say, if I ordered from there again, I might get it again because I like it, but that price does put me off a little bit. But it is really tasty. Like, I have no fault with it there. But is it tasty enough for that price? If I'm recommending it, kind of. The thing is, again, it's like, it's good, it's tasty. If you're already somebody who, like my friend Kyle, where you're already a fan of Magdalena and all that, you're probably aware of the pricing and everything like that. If that's comfortable for you, absolutely. But the area that we're in, We are certainly blessed with an abundance of really great Mexican restaurants. And I would definitely say, I mean, from just what I've had so far, Magdalena is doing a fine job in that respect. But price-wise, they're definitely on the higher end of what I've seen for Mexican restaurants. And could I get maybe a little bit better elote for a cheaper price from some of those places? Yes. So for me personally, like I said, if I were going there, sure. But I do think there's options that are just a little bit more price friendly. But if you go there and you like elote, it's a good elote. You will not be disappointed with it. But again, that price, and I'm not trying to be that guy because I don't know what their overhead is. I don't know how much this shit's supposed to cost. I just know personally, I think that's the most I've ever paid for it. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there themselves a truly elote-tastic rest of your life. Because, I mean, fuck it, man. Elote is amazing. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. And folks, I do just want to quick here, again, re-emphasize. Because pricing, not usually a thing that I like to focus on. But at the same time, especially because we do have inflation to deal with, because we do have so many people struggling, certainly for myself, I've had my troubles. I don't want it to seem like I'm coming at Magdalena or any establishment, with the mindset in mind of trying to undercut them or anything like that. It is just that thing of like, again, especially with everything going on, pricing does make a difference. And, so to the fine folks of Magdalena, and I have another thing to review from them, by the way. I got a chimichanga over here I'm going to review too. So please don't take it as anything negative. But anyway,